What is going on, y'all? Gamersgoon here today with your Survivor 48 episode number 6, the Merge video. Sorry that this video didn't come out last night, and sorry that we're going to miss about maybe 10 minutes worth of the show that we're not going to talk about because there was bad weather. So my show did not record the beginning, and I was sitting there watching the weather. So I don't have the beginning of it, but I hate to break it to you, I don't think it's that hard to figure out. There was a merge. I assume there was some sort of scramble because Say did leave with an advantage for the merge challenge. So we are merged now. But this merge was a little different. We'll start off on the merge beach, though. We have David and Joe bonding over drinking gallons of milk in the morning. They both like chocolate. I wrote here another duo, exclamation point. Joe and David. It's shocking. It really is. Both of these guys are just the prototypical guys that would get voted out really, really early in most seasons, right? The big burly guy that's making good relationships. They're probably going to get him out sooner rather than later. But these two are bonding. I think they have a good group of people in place for them. So we get to the meet and greet portion of the merge. Joe is happy to be back with Eva. We hear from that. He said anything more is just icing on the cake. Eva then suggests to Joe that Joe, Shaheen, Kyle, and David create kind of a challenge beast group. They don't want to be meat shields anymore. They want to get all the meat shields and just say, you know what, we're going to run the game. We aren't going to be pawns in anybody's system. We're going to run the game. Then we had she tells him about the idol, and their goal is to find honest players. David agrees. # no meat shields is what I put down. Kyle then tells David to be careful about Shaheen when the idea is floated around to Kyle. Kyle is a little weary of Shaheen, but they do know, hey, we can work with Shaheen for a little bit until it's time we got to cut Shaheen before he cuts us. So they are worried a little bit about Shaheen. Kyle, him and Camilla, I don't think anybody even knows about them. Mitch, Charity, and Camilla then want to stay Siva 6. I don't think Camilla was really all about this, though. It is more so just Mitch and Charity, and Camilla was there. Charity then calls Say the easy vote, and she goes around telling people about Eva's idol, which then Star, because Charity was trying to tell Star, hey, you got to go ask for your idol back. Star was like, yeah, no, but me and Eva are friends now. So she goes and tells Eva, spills the beans. So now Eva wants Charity out. Joe, all those grouping there want Charity out. So Charity, I'm playing a little bit too bold before the merge is even guaranteed. Challenge. So here we go to the merge challenge, but it's actually a 2-part challenge. This one, you split up into 2 teams, and you'll get a merge feast if you win, but only the winners get to play for the merge buff. Only one player will be safe. I like this. I don't like when half the group is safe. Only one player being safe. I absolutely love that is what they did with here. But only one person gets the immunity tonight. So this challenge, you had to crawl through mud, and oh my goodness, that mud. It looked like clay. I mean, it was just real wet. I didn't want nothing to do with it. I'm glad I wasn't out there. Then you had to crawl through wood chips to then go to a cage in which you would use a hook in order to grab a bag with a key in it. Heavy bag, you had to pull it up. Then you had to run up an American Ninja Warrior type of wall. And then you have to solve a puzzle. We've seen so many puzzles. Well, guess what? We got another one. So the teams would win a merge meal. No immunity here. The losers will not participate. So that's what the challenge is. For Say, obviously we talked about her finding an advantage in the merge scramble or whatever. I assume they had to look for the merge advantage. Well, guess what? Say gets to skip the whole first challenge. She gets a guaranteed path to fight for her immunity. So Say does not have to participate, does not have to get all muddy, doesn't have to do any of that. So she also gets guaranteed to have the merge meal, and we saw this. Say was happy. Oh, thank God! I really needed this. Last week you criticized Mary for the same thing, saying be a humble winner. And there's gonna be more of that kind of double standard later on in the episode. So we had the orange group. Orange group was Charity, Eva, Shaheen, Mitch, Joe, and Cedric. The purple group was Mary, Chrissy, Camilla, David, Kyle, and Star. The mud, I wrote mud, ew, very disgusting looking. Orange, they separate on the bag. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Cedric. Somebody was struggling. No, Cedric was on orange. Who was it? I don't remember who exactly it was, but somebody was struggling on the bag there when you had to pull it up. So then we have Mitch and Joe trying to get Cedric up the wall. Now that was an event. Joe told him to walk on his back, and Mitch was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drag him up. He literally just grabbed Cedric and kept dragging him up the wall. Mitch, once again, complete challenge beast, absolute beast of a competitor. So that is how Cedric got up the wall. The purple, they lead on the puzzle because it took orange. I'm in my own head here. It took orange forever to get up. So purple had a big lead. Dave and Camilla on purple were the ones out there. You get Camilla and David way too much time, especially Camilla. Camilla, one of the smarter players on this entire thing, as we have seen throughout the last few episodes, that when Camilla's not on the puzzle, teams aren't successful. But when Camilla's on the puzzle, they do pretty good. So they win. That group wins. We go straight to immunity before the meal. I thought the meal would happen and then the immunity challenge. No. So this immunity challenge, you had to balance a ball on a pole. We've seen versions of this where you just put the ball in the pole, you got to add another stick every 5-10 minutes, whatever it is. It was a pretty good challenge here. Chrissy did drop early. I think she was on like 15 minutes in, something like that. Camilla then dropped. Mary then dropped. Say, with the advantage of having not done the first challenge, then dropped. So it leaves us. Oh, my bad. David then drops. I don't even know how David was along because his was bending and going every which way the whole time. So that left us with Kyle and Star. Star is another one. Really big challenge threat. Don't know about really the social threat just yet. Kyle then wins. I was shocked. I didn't expect Kyle to win this. Could be huge is what I put. And the merge buff, guess what? It's blue. So that means my Google Sheets of who I have ranked where, now it's blue. So we get to the feast with the / scramble for immunity, for who's going to get voted out at tribal. The feast, I wrote fried chicken wings. That's really what I noticed. Camilla then said she's fueled for the game next however many days. David said, the food's great, but I'm still worried without a buff. That's really my main concern. Star then throws out the name. First one to say it. Would you mind Charity? Would you mind going out Charity? And Star's like, you know what? I had people before this game tell me don't throw out a name. Guess what? I'm going to throw out a name. That's what I'm doing. That's how I play. So she throws out the name of Charity. So the thing I don't like, though, is Say is on this. So she got info about the Eva idol, the Mitch advantage. She now knows Charity wants out. But Say wants Eva out. Say can cause some problems. And if you're one of the people rooting here for that big group with Joe, Shaheen, Eva, whatever, Say knowing stuff is really, really dangerous because she can blow up a lot of games. We've seen it in the first half. Say is one she'll spoil your plans. So you gotta be real careful with Say. Cedric then says he felt bad about losing the immunity. Charity says the vote should be easy, should just be Say. Mitch said he was nervous, but Charity push and Say. No real need for Mitch to be nervous because it's easier then going against Eva. You aren't going to get the numbers for Eva, so Charity wants to go Say. But Eva's name is being floated around. Not good look for Eva. Shaheen says Charity's got to go, and that's where we leave because the feast people come back, and we get to Say once again. Talk about humble. Say comes back bragging to everybody, I had this, I had this, I had this, I had this, and we just see everybody rolling their eyes like, read the room. We lost, we didn't get the meal, we didn't get a chance to play for immunity, and you're here bragging about what you ate. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. So the names right now, wait, my bad. We have Star comforting Cedric. Cedric obviously down in the dump. Star's like, nah, I'm proud of you. Don't feel bad for it. Your kids are gonna be proud of you. I wish you, like, if my dad was doing this, just know I'd be proud of you. Like, my dad isn't doing this, but you are. Like, basically hyping him up. We then get Mary saying she wants Charity out, and then we get Say saying, I'm gonna back off because I know that I can be a little bit too much at times. So she backs off the Eva thing. It's like, as long as it ain't me, I don't really care who goes. Now that is a smart thing from Say. That is really smart. We saw Sandra do it. If it ain't me, I don't care. Take out whoever. Take out whoever. I don't care. So Say, I think that right there, if she plays with that mentality for the rest of the game, she's got a legit chance. But you can't be the one stirring the pot. Kyle then tells Eva that Say did want to go for her. So Eva is now weary of Say, and that whole group with Eva is now worried of Say. So the names currently out are Say, Eva, Charity. We hear from Joe saying he's scared of having Say or Charity on the jury because they will hold a grudge. Mary then calls Say a venomous snake and Charity a little turtle. And she's not scared of the turtle, she's scared of the snake in Say. So a lot of words being used to describe Say and how much people just don't trust her. So you'd assume Say's probably gone, right? Shaheen is really the only one really worried about the Siva 6. I think it was him that even said, I'm not worried about the Siva 6, but if they get along and the Siva 6 is actually strong, then we have a problem. There's no Siva 6. There's no Siva 6. So we get to Tribal. There was a sniffing of butts comparison for the dogs. This is like going around at a dog park and dogs sniffing each other's butts to get a feel for who's who. That is the analogy we got here. Charity spoke at one point. I didn't even really catch what she said. All I really noticed is they panned to a lot of different people rolling their eyes when she was speaking. Charity's not very well liked. Say then says it's like being part of a dysfunctional family. And Star's like, I got people in my family that don't go along well, then I like you guys more than them, but you still love them. Like, Star really, really getting back up in terms of, I think she might be getting to a spot where maybe she's got a chance. Kyle then says he plans to vote basically on who he can rely on, this, that. He was using the family analogy, who's got my back. And then it also says, he says something along the lines of, we can't throw out any more lifelines. Camera pans to Cedric. Cedric, the king of throwing out lifelines. I seriously don't know how Say is still even here. Cedric single-handedly keeping Say in the game. So we get to the votes. There is no idol or advantage played. We get vote Say. We got to vote for Charity. We got to vote for Cedric. I don't know where the Cedric vote came from. I do now, but at the time I was like, Cedric? We get another vote for Say. Another vote for Say, another vote for Say, and another vote for Say. Then we get a vote for Charity, a Charity, a Charity, a Charity. With 2 more votes left, we get 1 Charity and another Charity. And another Charity. Now, Say, she's the one that voted for Cedric. I believe Cedric voted for Charity. Cedric, Why did you keep Say in the game? I don't understand Cedric's way of playing. I really don't. But yeah, Charity's going home. Charity going home. I don't really even know how it was. I mean, Say obviously a big threat, but nobody really likes Charity. Just never really saw any positive content about her other than Mitch. And Mitch kind of shown to be on the outs a little bit. So I don't really know. But what I did know is I wrote How next to Say's name. How does Say keep getting away? Just barely. Say's like, she just doesn't go away. Always voted against, never gone. Say has a real chance to win this game if she can just find ways to get through tribals. Because if she gets to the final tribal, she has a good case. There's just so much going against Say at the moment that I just don't see it happening. So let's go over to my winners rankings. We will start off with who has an idol. Eva, the only one. We do have Mitch with a vote block, and that is the only advantages currently in the game. Now, I did give threat levels to everybody. Cedric, I gave a 2 out of 10. Now, Cedric, I gave a 2 out of 10 because I think he's good at making connections. If he can get to the final jury, I think Cedric has a good chance. Now, the problem is, I don't see Cedric making it. Cedric is somebody that literally at times has been dragged along. Mitch dragging him up there. I mean, Cedric just doesn't really seem super aware of what's going on around him. Say already trying to turn on Cedric. Cedric does not realize that. Cedric feels loyal to Say. And if you can't get Say, take out who seemingly is a pawn in Say's plan in Cedric. Cedric not too concerned about winning, but I do think this could be a Gabler-esque situation that if Cedric does get there, he hasn't burned anybody, so he might have a chance depending on how bitter the jury is. Next, we have Chrissy. I gave her a 1 out of 10 chance. I think she's just going to be a pawn in somebody's scheme. We haven't seen much of Chrissy really initiating any gameplay. Say, we gave a 7 out of 10 level threat. Say is a danger. She is somebody that has a real chance of winning the game if she gets to the end. And she's probably going to be one of the more looked at people coming out of out of this tribal. Mitch, I gave a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. Mitch is a big challenge threat. I don't see them let him go very far. The social part, don't really see who he's aligned with. Not great odds there for Mitch. Eva, I gave an 8 out of 10. That's one of my highest. Simply because I think Eva, A, big challenge threat. B, is making really good connections with people that are at least threats to go before her. Eva's in a good spot. Mary, I gave a 5 out of 10. Mary is one that I think is going to be able to nail the whole social aspect. Maybe win a challenge or two if it caters more so to one of her strengths. Like, I thought maybe today with the balance one, she would do pretty well. She didn't end up winning, but I think you might see Mary win a challenge or two. Star, I gave a 3 out of 10. I gave a 3 out of 10. A challenge threat there for Star. I just don't really see any alliances really forming with her. She has a couple people here and there that she is more so just being a good friend for, rather than, hey, we're going to be a team here and go after people. David, I gave him an 8 out of 10. Big danger. Big danger. He is somebody that is going to be a big-time challenge and social threat. Shaheen, I gave a 9 out of 10. Shaheen, once again, big-time threat there. Shaheen does have a slightly higher one than Eva and David, simply because we've heard Shaheen already kind of on people's radar. Camilla, I gave a 7 out of 10. I think Camilla's great. I think Camilla stands a good chance. I think she'll fall under the radar kind of with that bigger group that people are going to be worried about. Camilla, not a big-time challenge threat, really, but I think she's one that might be able to win a clutch challenge, maybe, if it fits. maybe a puzzle, or maybe something that isn't like pure strength, I think Camilla stands a pretty good chance. Joe, I have it as a 10 out of 10 threat. Joe, I'm really worried for him. Big time social threat, big time physical threat. Has a very public alliance with Eva. That's going to make him probably the biggest target in the game. I just don't know if people are willing to burn him yet. Which actually is going to make me change my ratings. Okay. And then we get Kyle. We give a 6 out of 10 for Kyle. Kyle, I think the bond with Camilla, I think, is really, really good. It's under the radar. People don't know about it. Really good there from Kyle. And then obviously he's a part of that big group also. So Kyle, I don't think is in any danger going home anytime soon, but I think he is a serious threat in terms of challenges. We've already seen him win the immunity this episode. We could see him win more, and he is a social threat as well. So we get to the winners rankings. Cedric, I have him ranked at 6. You might be like, he got a 2 out of 10. Why is he at 6? I don't see Cedric being the top of priorities. I really don't. Chrissy. Oh, by the way, Cedric was 8th last week, so he did move up. Chrissy, she was 12th last week. I moved her up. She's now 7th. I just don't see Chrissy, once again, being a top of priority person to get out. We haven't heard her name floated around really much. Last week, Say was 11th. This week, she is 12th. She had the second most votes against her this week. She is obviously on everybody's radar. She is in real danger unless she wins immunity. 11th for Mitch. Mitch, we didn't hear his name floated around, but he was 9th last week. I think now that you are in the merge aspect of this game, Mitch is really going to struggle because Mitch is a guy that could go on this hypothetical run of immunity, and people aren't going to want to see that. So the first chance you can get to cut off Mitch, I could see them doing it. 9th for Eva. Eva was 7th last week. She's bounced around there in that middle range. Eva, once again, I think this is going to be a situation of probably cutting off Eva before they cut off Joe. I think that is probably what's going to happen, is they're going to try to take away from Joe and his chances by taking away one of his members. So you'll have like Shaheen and them kind of planning this backstab of Eva potentially. Mary, I have at 8th. She was 6th last week. Mary, I'm rooting for Mary. I really am. But I just don't really see any alliances here that Mary's making in the post-merge yet that could get her to go all the way. Star, I have at 10. Star, the only problem I have is Star is aligned with Eva to an extent. They're friends now. I don't know if Eva necessarily replicates that in terms of I'm going to take Star with me to the end. But Star wants that for Eva. Cedric, we saw Star and Cedric have that moment where she was hyping him up. Cedric's also not somebody that I think is, he's a good number in terms of, I know where his vote's going to lie. I think he's a loyal person, but I don't think he's the one making the moves, and I don't know if that's really where you want to be your alliance, is Cedric, who's not making the moves, and Eva, who is already in a group that probably will burn you at some point. Star, I have there at 10. David, I gave 3. I did switch him and Joe. Joe was now 4. I switched them simply because I talked myself into, if Joe makes it to Final Tribal, Joe will win. David, another one that I think has a really good chance at winning. He is somebody that fits all the criteria of a winner. Great socially, great in the challenges, seemingly really good game player. So David's somebody you got to watch out for. I do have it 3. He moved up from 5 last week. Shaheen actually went from 3 to 5. Shaheen, we're hearing his name floated around, does worry me. I think he might be on the bottom of that group that they aligned. But I think they'll have enough people willing to vote out Eva before Shaheen. Camilla stays at 1. I'm really high on Camilla. Think she is going to win this game. Playing a really, really good game at the moment. Joe, I have at 4. Already said it before this week. He was at 4 as well. Just really concerned that maybe he is a little bit too much of a public threat. Kyle, I have sticking at 2. I think that Kyle-Camilla duo is going to really, really work out for him. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Let me know down below who you think is going to finish and where they're going to finish. And let me know who you think is going to win Survivor 48. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next time.